William Collins and Argo present Persuasion, written by Jane Austen. Read by Prunella Scales.
Sir Walter Elliot of Kellynch Hall in Somersetshire was a man who, for his own amusement, never took up any book but the baronetage. There he found occupation for an idle hour, and consolation in a distressed one. There his faculties were roused into admiration and respect by contemplating the limited remnant of the earliest patents. There any unwelcome sensations arising from domestic affairs changed naturally into pity and contempt as he turned over the almost endless creations of the last century. And there, if every other leaf were powerless, he could read his own history with an interest which never failed. This was the page at which the favourite volume always opened. Elliot of Kellynch Hall. Walter Elliot, born March the 1st, 1760, married July the 15th, 1784, Elizabeth, daughter of James Stevenson, Esquire, of South Park in the county of Gloucester, by which lady, who died 1800, he has issue Elizabeth, born June the 1st, 1785, Anne, born August the 9th, 1787, a stillborn son, November the 5th, 1789, Mary, born November the 20th, 1791. Precisely such had the paragraph originally stood from the printer's hands, but Sir Walter had improved it by adding, for the information of himself and his family, these words after the date of Mary's birth: married December the 16th, 1810, Charles, son and heir of Charles Musgrove, Esquire, of Uppercross in the county of Somerset, and by inserting most accurately the day of the month on which he had lost his wife. Then followed the history of the family, concluding with the arms and motto, principal seat Kellynch Hall in the county of Somerset, and in Sir Walter's handwriting again, heir presumptive William Walter Elliot, Esquire, great-grandson of the second Sir Walter. Vanity was the beginning and the end of Sir Walter's character. Few women could think more of their personal appearance than he did. To his good looks and rank he must have owed a wife of very superior character. Lady Elliot had humoured or concealed his failings for 17 years, and on her death bequeathed her 3 girls as an awful legacy, an awful charge rather, to the authority and guidance of a conceited, silly father. She had, however, one very intimate friend, a sensible woman, who had settled in the village of Kellynch. This friend and Sir Walter did not marry. 13 years had passed away since Lady Elliot's death, and they were still near neighbours and intimate friends, one a widower, the other a widow. Lady Russell had no thought of a second marriage, and Sir Walter prided himself on remaining single for his daughter's sake. For one daughter, his eldest, he would have given up anything. Elizabeth had succeeded at 16 to all that was possible of her mother's rights, and being very handsome and very like him, her influence had always been great. Mary had acquired a little importance by becoming Mrs. Charles Musgrove, but Anne, with an elegance of mind and sweetness of character which must have placed her high with any people of real understanding, was nobody with either father or sister. She was only Anne. To Lady Russell, indeed, she was a most dear and highly valued goddaughter, favourite and friend. A few years before, Anne Elliot had been a very pretty girl, but her bloom had vanished early. Elizabeth, at 29, was still the same handsome Miss Elliot that she had begun to be 13 years ago. 13 years had seen her mistress of Kellynch Hall, laying down the domestic law at home. 13 winters' revolving frosts had seen her opening every ball of credit in the neighbourhood, and 13 springs shone their blossoms as she travelled up to London with her father for a few weeks' annual enjoyment of the great world. She had the remembrance of all this. She had the consciousness of being 29 to give her some regrets and some apprehensions. Elizabeth had had a disappointment. The heir presumptive, William Walter Elliot, Esquire, had disappointed her. As soon as she had known him to be the future baronet, Elizabeth meant to marry him, and her father had always meant that she should. But Mr. Elliot had purchased independence by uniting himself to a rich woman of inferior birth.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?